sessions today, yes. And so this session, I want to talk about culture. We do everything that we can to rid ourselves of any type of pain immediately. And I gotta say, you've got the best mustache since Raleigh Fingers. I just gotta say that. It's the best thing ever. I love it. I love it. I mean, like, it's the manliest thing here today. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Plain and simple. I mean, we're all men, but I think you could walk outside right now, spit, and hair would grow right from the ground, right where you spit. I think you have that much manliness.
That's right.
I mean, come on. But listen, pain is not a bad thing. But we do everything we can to eradicate it immediately. Oh man, I got a headache. What do? Tylenol. Quick. But listen, pain is simply an indication that something is wrong. Pain's an indicator that something is not right, that it needs attention, that it needs to be fixed. And instead of actually leaning into it, typically what we do is we do everything we can to numb it.
Yeah. True.
We numb it. We numb our pain. And it comes in different forms and fashions. You know, what are the big ones? You know, this is like, I do men's conferences and stuff, and one of the things that I used to go to men's conferences a lot, and we'd have them at our church and everything. And the one thing I hated more than anything was, like, I always felt like I'm going to a men's conference and I'm going to get bashed for not being a man, right? I'm going to get up there, they're going to beat me over the head, tell me how much I suck, and then, you know, I'm going to leave feeling worse about myself and all that kind of stuff. Well, you know what? If you were a real, like Father's Day, you know, Father's Day at church most of the time, but Father's Day when I was growing up at church, it was like, you know what, I'm glad all you men are here today at church, because I want to tell you how awful you are as men, right? You're horrible fathers, you're terrible husbands, you need to suck it up, fly right, do what you got to do, and let's be men, right? And you're like, okay, thanks. I really feel a lot better now. I feel equipped to go actually be that guy, right? So my goal this weekend is not to tell you how awful you are, because let's just be honest. All of us know how awful we are already, right? Everybody knows what's wrong with them. We just need somebody that can tell us what can be right with us.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what this is this weekend for you. That we can all leave together feeling like, you know what? God has done something in my life and I can take it and go from here. So pain. Brutal. But it's a part of our life. And it's okay. You know, it's okay to not be okay. It really is. You don't have to be perfect. Like I said last night, God's not looking for perfection. There's only one perfect man who ever walked this earth. And we are not him. He was the only one who was able to die for our sins. Right? You know, growing up with an alcoholic father, he had a lot of pain in his life that he never dealt with. And it ultimately killed him because of his addiction. And so in looking at my life, the reason why I shared what I shared last night with you, just because I want to be open, honest, and as transparent with you as possible. Because I'm telling you, I think I said it last night, this culture, this world, needs men to be open, honest, and transparent now more than ever. Yep. Because for so long, like, I remember growing up, my granddad, all right, my grandfather was John Wayne, okay? I mean, not like literally John Wayne, but he might as well have been. He trained Tennessee walking horses. I mean, my grandfather was a man's man, right? I mean, he would say things like, he took me fishing one time. He said, boy, come here. You know, because my dad wasn't around, so my granddad was trying to, you know, be a good positive influence in my life. But he would never communicate anything. And he had a lot of pain in his life from his childhood, growing up and stuff, that he never dealt with. But But he would look at me. I remember this one time. He told me this one time in my life. Once. He said, boy, come here. He said, I'm going to show you how to cast this rod right here. You just let the bobber get back, pull in just a little bit. All right. You got it set? Yes, sir. All right. I was 8 years old. Looked around. He said, hey, I love you. And don't go telling everybody I told you that. That's just who he was. He was just a tough guy. He wasn't going to be emotional. He wasn't going to let anything get to him because he was a man. But he had pain. He had prejudice in his heart. Up until he died when he was 75 years old. But at 73 years old, living in the South, you know, it still is a black-white thing. And not just the South, let's just be honest. So he had this awesome couple that was coming into the church. Like, they used to drive me to school, and we would drive their daughter to school, and all this kind of stuff. Had a little carpool thing going on. And awesome black couple, Benny and Murtis Walker. And they came in, and I watched my grandfather. He was a greeter that day. And he looked at him, and he handed him, and he said, good morning, welcome to church, and everything. He grabbed him by the arm. And he just kind of turned him around, and they were like, what? And he just bear hugged them both. And he just had, he had tears streaming down his face. And he said, I just want y'all to know, I love you. You don't go telling everybody I told you that. But I love you. And I was out in the foyer right there, and I watched 50 years of prejudice just wash off my granddad just like that. Amen. And he wiped his, I'd never seen him cry before. He wiped his face. So I was going, Grandpa, what? You all right? He goes, yeah, man, her perfume's so strong, I don't know what the problem is. But, you know, as men, we feel like we can't express what we're feeling inside. When it's okay to do that. It's okay. Because if you hold things in long enough, they're eventually going to come out. And when it comes out, it'll be a disaster and a mess. Because if you don't sort out things that are going on internally, when it eventually comes out and explodes externally, it's going to create a mess. It just is. Trust me, I'm standing here living proof of it. So what do you do with your pain? What do you do with it? Typically, most of the time what we do, we numb it. So think about things in your life, emotionally, mentally, maybe even spiritually. What do you numb your pain with? What is the numbing agent? You know, for a headache, we go to Tylenol. What is that? How do you administer it? You know, for some of us, we just dive into ourselves and we exclude other people and we don't want to talk about anything. We go home and how many of you are married in here? How many of you are married in here? Married guys? Yeah. Married. Yeah. We go home and we just completely withdraw from our spouse and we don't even communicate anything with them and they're trying to get us to open up and share, but we don't want anybody to know really what's going on because we're so prideful thinking that we have to have it all together when we don't. You don't. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to be perfect. We're not. We never will be. Until you breathe your last breath, then you'll be in the midst of perfection.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean we're not trying to be better and better ourselves and all that. But, man, there's no reason in the world to hide. We've been doing that since day one. Adam, you.
Yeah.
Listen, when God asks a question, he's not really looking for an answer from you. Like, Adam, where are you? Like, God didn't know. Hide and seek. Okay, where are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, where's Adam? Okay, I don't know. No. He wasn't asking for where his location was. Where are you? Where's the real you? Where is the real you? You know what God was doing in that moment? My God, listen to this. You know what he was doing in that moment? Because Adam sinned, right? Did what he was told not to do, but he was hiding. What God was doing right there, he was wanting to restore him to his true identity.
That's right.
Like, you're hiding because of something you did. You're hiding in your guilt, but what you did is not who you are. Adam, where are you? Because this isn't you. And what we do sometimes is we fail to separate actions from identity. And then we feel guilty and this and that, and then we just lose it, and then we numb. So what is it that you numb? What is the pain that you are numbing? And how do you administer it? For some people, it's technology. You know, men's conference, right? Numbing pain. You know, what everybody in here is thinking, oh, he's going to talk about porn. Here we go. Here it is. He's going to talk about pornography. That's what we all talk about at men's conferences. And everybody looks at it, and everybody says, oh, God, forgive me. And then 4 months later, we find ourselves doing it again, right? You know, that's where he's going. I know where he's going. I've been here before. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. Even though that could be something going on, but it doesn't have to be just that. We could bury ourselves in technology in order to not deal with anything that's going on in our heart and life. So we can just sit right here all day long. We can come home from work, we can grunt and hey, how was your day, honey? And then just stay right here.
Yeah.
We numb our pain. You can numb it with technology. You can numb it with, I know what he's going to talk about. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's what he's going to talk about. We numb our pain with porn, with women, with drinking. Yeah, those are some numbing agents. But let's talk about ones that we don't normally talk about. Technology, right? Time. We're just going to do other things. Immerse ourselves in hobbies so we don't have to open up about anything and just think that, you know what, hey, I'll go play golf or I'll work on the car, or I'll slide up under the engine and just kind of bury myself in stuff to where I don't have to deal with anything. Work.
Right.
I will work 70 hours a week to not have to deal with what I'm feeling internally. And I'll take it a step further. Some people numb their pain with religion. And they'll say things like, oh, just try Jesus. Like he's something you can shove into a needle and jam it in your arm. Jesus isn't something to be tried. Jesus never came here to establish a religion about God. He came here to reconnect relationship with him. That's why he came.
That's right.
But a lot of people numb their pain with religion. It's true. And the father heart of God is not, well, just try me and see if I work. He is, I love you with everything that I am. God is love, right? Scripture says. So, what is it that you're numbing? What is that pain that you're numbing? What is, how are you going about it? But here's the bigger question. Why? Why? What is the root issue? What is the thing? And I just want to tell you mine. I'll tell you mine. I told you last night about when my uncle leaned down and said, you know you're really not a part of